Hey everyone, Brian here from Vintage Classic Specialist. Happy Monday to everyone. Hope everyone had a good weekend. It is time for another episode of Day in the Life of Vintage Classic Specialist. So, moving right along here, the 70 Ghia, which, by the way, for those of you that may be new here, is going to be back to its original color here. Signal orange. Awesome color. Super 60s, 70s looking color. And this car is going to be a hot rod. So I'm not going to say what wheels it's getting, but they're not uncommon, but they're also not as common as some of the other choices. And they're going to look amazing on here. It's going to have a huge engine. We've already got a very beefy transmission for it. And yeah, this car is going to be very special. Oh, they're all special, but this car is going to be special in a hot rod sort of way versus a stock restoration sort of way. Anyway, so yeah, Rene and Raul have been working very hard on this thing, stripping. Raul's primarily been stripping the paint, and then Rene's kind of been following along behind him as the paint is stripped on a panel, doing the body work and so on. And so the body work on the whole body is pretty much done now, at least the first pass. So, obviously there's going to be a lot of like blocking and repriming and blocking and so on and so forth. But, and I think that this door still needs some body work on it. I feel like there was maybe like a very shallow dent in here somewhere, but it was all down to bare metal. So went ahead and got some direct to metal primer on it to keep it from oxidizing in the meantime. But yeah, I think the whole back of the car, the bodywork is done. The roof for sure is done. I believe both fenders are done. And I think the nose is done too. Yeah, this car did have a little bit of rust on the car right under there, which I think is done. So yeah, the first sort of what I would call like the first pass of bodywork is done. And so now it's going to be down to more blocking, maybe some more skim coats of filler. Of course, we like to keep filler nice and thin, but it's just really to fill in like any tiny imperfections and stuff like that. But yeah, I'm very, very happy with how fast the bodywork on this car is coming, especially after the green 68, which was a bit of a basket case as far as all the accidents it had been in, and especially all the rust that it had for sitting kind of in the elements. Even in Southern California, believe it or not, we do have elements, and that car, the green 68, definitely sat in the elements and had a lot of rust accordingly. But anyway, yeah, this car, much cleaner, drier example, and so the bodywork on it is going a lot faster. Plus we have Raul now, so when we did the 68, it was Rene was doing everything by himself. Now he's got some help. And so, again, it is going much, much, much faster, having two guys pretty much work full-time on it instead of one. So that is the update on this car. Let's go inside the shop and see what's going on in there. Okay, guys, here we are back in the shop. So let's talk about what else happened today other than the orange Ghia bodywork. So not a lot of show and tell for what I'm about to talk about, because I think Rafa already like squirreled away all those parts for the most part in some boxes here. But he continued to do a lot of things for the 68 Ghia that I was talking about before, the one that was a rust bucket and had lots of accidents. So he took the steering column completely apart to get those parts ready for sandblasting, powder coating, painting, etc., etc. He removed the ignition switch from it, again, took the steering part of it apart and the turn signal switch, all that stuff. He took apart the rear tail lights and restored those already. And let's see what else. Little detail, but this is the chrome strip that goes along the back seat, or it's actually aluminum, I think. But yeah, he straightened that out and polished it. It was looking pretty bad, but actually came out pretty nice. What a nice original piece there. So that was pretty much Rafa's day. Again, sorry, not much show and tell on that. You guys have to ignore all that noise. That is some polishing. Speaking of polishing, that's going on the 68 Ghia. So let's see what else happened here. So for me, I spent most of the day on, hold on one second. Okay, sorry about that. I don't know if that's going to be any better or not, but closed the door there so we weren't hearing the air tool. That's still pretty loud and kind of obnoxious. But anyway, so I spent most of the day working on the 65 Notchback, which is sitting outside at the moment. And the carburetors for that car have totally got me at wit's end. And that is not something that happens too often. I'm usually pretty good with carburetors. I've been through these carburetors probably 3 times, had them off and on the car, and the car is running better, but still fairly terrible. And so let me talk about some of the things that I did. So first off, I had them apart yesterday and took them apart and found some clogged jets and stuff for the accelerator pump circuit. So that was one issue. Got that sorted out and bench tested them, and the accelerator pump circuit seemed to be working okay. That's all you can really bench test on these, really, short of installing them on the car and running it. But, I could see that they were squirting, so that was okay. So put them back on the car, and just running super rough and just not great. And adjusted the idle screws to get the idle to kind of smooth out, and a little bit faster than I would probably prefer the idle speed to be, but kind of got it idling. And then looking down the carburetors as it was running, I noticed that the accelerator pump jet on this one was just pretty steadily dripping gas, which is not a good sign. It shouldn't be doing anything unless you are actively stepping on the throttle and pumping the accelerator pump. But it was kind of dribbling out of there, but it was, I don't know. Anyway, so that's not good. But then what happened was, the main thing was that when I would start increasing the throttle, not revving it like this, which is pretty much primarily using the accelerator pumps. So doing that, the motor would rev pretty much like you'd expect it. But if I would just sort of start slowly increasing the throttle where you're really not getting much of a squirt, it would just really start bogging down and trying to die. And if you let the throttle off and let it go back to idle, it would sort of smooth back out and idle again. But the minute you would sort of start cracking the throttle and slowly increasing it, it would just try and die almost immediately. And so what I noticed looking down the throats of the carbs was that, see this round deal here in the middle with a bar coming out of it this way? So that is the main circuit of the carburetor. So that's when you get up off idle and into or past mid-range, that's where gas is supposed to come out. But it shouldn't be a lot. It should just be kind of getting sucked out of there and almost vaporized to become air fuel mixture. But anyway, what I noticed was when you would start to crack the throttle is that a lot of gas was starting to come out of that center hole there of the main circuit, a lot. And this was actually happening on both carburetors. And so the initial thing I thought was, well, the fuel pressure is probably too high. When the fuel pressure is too high, you overwhelm the needle and seat valves, and they can puke gas out of all kinds of places, including the main circuit right there. So checked the fuel pressure, and it was right on where it should be, basically 3 psi, so that wasn't it. So I pulled the carburetors, kind of went through them again, and I checked the float levels on them. The floats were actually set pretty much correctly. On one of them, the float had too much sag in it. When you let it drop, there's supposed to be a maximum distance that the float goes down as well. That was off on one of them, but that wouldn't normally allow them to essentially flood, which is what they were doing. So, but I adjusted that anyway and kind of went through them again and sprayed the passages out some more with carburetor cleaner. and put them back on the car again, and it still was doing the same thing. So there was other stuff I tried in there I'm not going to go into, but pretty much I'm sure that, or pretty positive at this point, that these carburetors have some pretty bad issue going on with them, probably in some of the internal passages or something, don't know what. And so I don't think it's worth spending any more time on them. So what I proposed to the owner was, hey, you know what, let's just replace these carburetors. We can buy just the carburetors and then reuse his, the linkage, the manifolds, etc., that are on there. And, I don't think it's worth continuing to sink time into trying to get these carburetors to run right. I don't know what's going on with them. And as interesting as it would be to try and continue to troubleshoot these and get them to work right, I have no idea what's going on with these things. And so, kind of made the executive decision and got approval from the owner. We're just going to replace these. I should get a pair tomorrow, and I think that's going to solve all of our issues. Something's going on with these carburetors that's super weird and annoying and making the car run like crap. And anyway, so yeah, that was kind of I don't really like when stuff like that happens. I'm by nature a problem solver, and when I come up against a problem that I can't solve, it's kind of annoying, guys. I don't like not being able to solve a problem and just replacing a part that maybe they're okay and it's just something weird that I haven't figured out yet. But I don't know, guys. I don't think so. I think these are kind of trash. Anyway, so yeah, I will be replacing these tomorrow. I think the car is going to run a lot better. Probably do also adjust the valves on it, which he asked me to do an oil change. Might change out some ignition components. His plug wires are looking pretty old. Probably go ahead and pull some spark plugs. Maybe do a compression check on the motor just to make sure that there's not, like a couple dead cylinders. Sometimes those can cause some weird behavior on carburetors. But anyway, guys, so yeah, that was kind of my day, mostly frustratingly working on these and making it a little bit better, but not really getting it right. Anyway, guys, so I think that is it for today. So thank you all for watching, and we will see you again tomorrow. Bye.